What are the differences, or are there differences in how men and women lead?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, really the ultimate authority on this is a woman called Alice Eagly. She's done the major meta-analytic work, which a meta-analysis is a study of all the studies ever done. So, you found in your readings, Tom, that one study will show, yes, there's a difference. One study shows, no, there's a difference. One study shows the difference is the opposite of what the first study showed. And so what a meta-analysis does is looks at all of the studies, puts them together and looks at, is there an overall positive, negative effect? And then also, can you explain across studies why some might have found X while the other found Y, right? So is there a difference? I would say the research thus far would say there's really very little difference. That if you look at the distribution of the population of men, and I'll say in the United States, right?
Sure.
There might be cultural variations, and I don't know if if the meta-analysis always take that into account, but in Western countries, the distribution of how men lead, are they more directive, and how directive are women? They're practically overlapping distributions, saying they are quite similar. I think Alice Eagly's meta-analysis showed women use a little bit more transformational, visionary, charismatic types of leadership than men. But if you look at the distribution, they're widely overlapping. So
Right.
I really would say for me, there's not big, meaningful differences in how men and women lead. What was your interpretation?
Yeah, I mean, I think when I look at the data and Dr. Eagly's work, and then other studies that have been done on this, I kind of come to the same conclusion. And I guess the thing that is, perhaps we can explore this a bit, is though the data show that, I think, pretty well. And as you say, what we call the magnitude of effect, if we just look at a single study, the magnitude of effect is very small. If there is a difference, it's statistical, but it actually practically doesn't matter to what you're saying. But then, and you and I are both academicians, and so maybe we're affected more by the academic domain and these sorts of mindsets than perhaps some in our society. But it sure seems like people want there to be a difference, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And
Well, and
why is that?
and there are huge differences in our beliefs about men and women's leadership. So you're right. We believe there's a big difference. And to the extent that we tend to see what we believe, or we get what we expect,
Yeah.
we see big differences, even if they're not there. And so, like, how do you know they're not there, right? Well, this isn't a leadership study, but the similar studies have been done on leadership. But I just came across this study recently looking at views of professors teaching classes. And so they're online classes, maybe it's the time of COVID, we have these online classes, and they had the same person teach two sections. Maybe you've seen these too. You're nodding and laughing. Two sections of the same class. And then they lie to people and they tell them that one of the professors is a woman and one of the professors is a man. And the professor, let's just say it's a double blind study. I don't know what the students think if I'm a man or a woman. So I'm not, behaving differently because I'm trying to confirm the expectations of the study. And people will interpret it's the same person. They interpret their professoring different if they believe it's a man or a woman. Yeah. So I guess if you ask the question, is there a difference in men and women's leadership behavior? No. Is there a difference in how we interpret men and women's leadership behavior? Absolutely. And which of those things matters more?